Hey everyone, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY Hope you're having a wonderful day. On this video tutorial, we're gonna make old-fashioned paper snowflakes, and I'm gonna show you a couple other ideas. So what we're gonna be using today is we're gonna be using this vintage sheet music that I have, but you could use scrapbook paper, a book, sheet music, a dictionary page, whatever you like. So we'll have paper, scissors. We're going to be using a little bit of Mod Podge as a gluing agent. And what else? Oh, branches from my yard. I'm going to tell you all about that. And then the star of the show is this glitter. Okay, and after this project, I have got to put the glitter away because it is everywhere and it does not come out once it gets embedded in your eyebrows and in between your teeth and all over the house. So anyways, that's what we're going to be doing. As you're hopping on, say hi, let me know how you're doing, let me know where you're watching from. Hey Marianne, hi Marie, hi Pat, hey Patty, Belle, hey Karen, hi Tina. Okay, so let's see, where should I start? Okay, well, let's start with the sticks. That's the easiest place to start. Let's see. Okay, so I went out in my backyard. I'm doing the turning thing again. Let me fix this at the start. I don't understand my tripod thingy, my bob. Okay, so I went out into my yard and I picked up a bunch of sticks. They were all wet because it's been raining in Atlanta and they were kind of slimy and laying under pine needles and all kinds of things. So I came in with about, I don't know, 10 or 15 branches. And some of them were really long, but I figured, you know, they can't be much longer than this and fit in the oven. So I broke the ends off of some of them, and then I put them on a large baking sheet with some foil in my oven at 200 for about an hour. When the timer went off, I left them in there, and then I brought them out, and they still feel like they're in good shape. There should be no critters, and they're not wet anymore. So I encourage you to go out and get some branches. Now there's a couple things that you could do with these. You could take them outside and spray paint them white. You could take them outside and spray paint them with a spray adhesive, and then you could glitter them. But for my project, I'm using glitter somewhere else, and I have the white elements of the paper and this vase that I'm going to be using, so I opted not to do that, but you certainly can. And if you don't live somewhere where you have access to these, sometimes like at craft stores or like at Walmart, you can buy a whole bunch of like twiggy things. And you could certainly use those. So these are all ready to go. They're dry and all ready to go. The next thing I did was I made my snowflakes, my paper snowflakes, and then I applied glitter, and then I put them on these little branches, and we'll get there in just a minute. Okay, so let's talk about how do you make paper snowflakes. Well, this is what I'm using, because this is what I have, so use what you have. This is Johannes Brahms piano pieces. So I just took my little X-Acto knife. This is the page ready to come out already. And I cut some music out of my book. And then the first few snowflakes that I made were really big, but I figured out you always want to consider the scale of things. And honestly, I feel like I have a display over here that I'll show you in a few minutes, so stay with me. It's really cute. I honestly feel like these are a little big for what I have going on, but it might not look out of proportion once I get these other branches in and once I make a bunch more of these vintage music snowflakes. So what you want, as always, is to cut off the margins so that your snowflake is mostly going to have music on it and not this empty space. You do not have to worry about having straight lines for this project. And that's a good thing. Okay. Move these away. All right, so then I am going to make this smaller, one of these, so that the snowflake is a reasonable size. And what you want basically is about a square. I'm not going to throw this away because I'll show you what we can do with that in just a minute. And I won't throw this one away either. Let's just chop this up right now. So this project today, it really brings back a lot of good memories of my time as a Girl Scout and making these, do you guys remember when you would use that construction paper at school and you'd make those big chain links? And then we made snowflakes. It just totally brings all of that back. Okay, so this is not really a square, but it's gonna work just fine. Okay, and what you're gonna do is you're going to fold one, I'll hold this up close. You're just folding one edge down over the top, all right? And see, that was not a square. It doesn't matter though. Okay, then you're gonna do the same thing again. You're gonna fold this in half. Okay, and this is this is right here is gonna be the center of your snowflake. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing again. And you want to really crease these really good. Okay. And then one more time. So I bought a new pair of scissors at Walmart this morning, but then one of you guys told me to be really careful. And, you know, I'm kind of a klutz, so I opted not to use my brand new little teeny super sharp scissors for this project. I'll use them for something else because I really don't want to cut myself. Okay, so this is what you end up with. So it's been folded multiple times until you get this teeny tiny little thing. And I keep looking at this picture that I found on Pinterest. I'll show you. And I'm making this one basically. So I have to keep looking at it to figure out where to cut. And I may be folding my paper too many times. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, so the side that is not in the very center, that is where I'm going to do this little, I don't know, little roundish lump. And then I'm going to do another one and go clear up here to the top. I'll show you in just a second. See, I'm cutting this out. Let's see, how can I hold that so you can see? I'll put this picture in the comments. That'll be easier. Okay, and then really should have my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Can you hear my dogs having a fit out there? I think I need to go up a little bit higher. Okay, if you don't want to use a pattern, just fold your paper and then start cutting little snips out of it. This is what I have right now. And I'm going to now take another little snip out of this area right here. I'm so afraid I'm going to cut myself. I had a really bad experience with a mandolin. I think it was last fall. I cut the whole end of my fingernail off, and I don't remember which one it was, but I was trying to use my mandolin to slice something, and I just cut my finger. Oh, it creeps me out just to think about it. So now I'm just super cautious about not cutting myself. Okay, I'm almost getting to the fun part. So then I'm just gonna do this other little area. Okay, this is what my shape looks like. We'll do another one and I'll just snip randomly. Okay, so now I'm unfolding it. I have noticed that it is pretty folded. Ooh, this one turned out great. And if you want, you can just use your iron to flatten it out if you want. Okay, so that's the one that I just showed you. Now let's do one where I'll do a bigger one where I'm just gonna basically snip. And we're gonna make it as big as this paper will allow. Okay, so you do the first fold and then you cut off whatever is at the bottom, but don't throw it away because we'll use it for the next thing. And then we're gonna fold it in half again. And then we're gonna fold it in half again. And then I'm going to fold it one more time. So, tell me in the comments if you have ever made these paper snowflakes. I'd love to know. I'm guessing that a lot of you have because it was, you know, I'm about the same age as the majority of you guys. I'm in my 50s. But it was pretty common when I was a little girl at school and in Girl Scouts and stuff to make all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm snipping off this end here. And now I'm not planning anything. I'm just gonna take a bunch of random snips. Trying to figure out how I can hold on to it. And now I have my fingers close by. Okay, so I'm just randomly snipping. The easiest thing is just to do little triangles or half moons. So I have 2 half moons on this side, and I'm going to do 2 little triangles on this one. All right, let's see what this looks like. I have no idea if it will look like a snowflake or not. And this is going to be quite a bit bigger, way too big for the size of what I have going on over here. But look, isn't that pretty? So you could do all kinds of things with these. You could use glitter on them. You could iron them out and put them on something almost like a piece of art, like frame them. You could do a little stencil in the center if you wanted. So this is the one that we did first, and this is the second one. Okay, so let's see. So now what I want to show you is how I glitter them. And I showed you this morning when I showed you my Walmart haul, this Supplemax. It's just clear, like a clear, stretchy string. You could use fishing line or clear thread or anything like that. I have found that it's easier to tie your hook on before you do the glitter. So that's what we're doing. And I'm just looping it through one of these holes. It's kind of hard to see. I'm just going to do a double knot. Whoops. Don't want to scrunch that down too much. You're using fishing line. That's what Donna says. Oh gosh, there's 272 people watching. Yay! And I see a couple of you guys have done the stars thing, which is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm going to cut the little end off of this, okay? So, all right, now I have my assortment of paper plates. And this is the paper plate that I paint on. We're using Mod Podge today to do our glitter, but you could use Elmer's glue, white school glue, really whatever you want. And I'm just using a paintbrush, a Cruddy paintbrush. And I'm just going to put a blob on the end of each one of these little points. I'll tell you why I have two different paper plates also, you're probably wondering. So for the first few things that I was working on, I kept my little snowflake on this plate and poured my glitter on. But then I found that a ton of my glitter was sticking to this plate. And of course I don't want to waste even a single grain of this amazing glitter. So, so I decided to use a different plate. Okay, so it has the Mod Podge at the end of each one of those little spikes and a little bit in the center. And then I'm just going to basically pour a huge pile of my glitter on it. Getting each one of these little ends covered. Good. Okay. And then I'm going to pick it up and tap it off a little bit. And I would let this dry completely, and then I would come back and do the other side, which let's go ahead and do that. Because these, when they're hanging on these branches here, they have a tendency to sort of twirl around. So that's why you want to do both sides. Okay, let's move to this plate here. I hope you guys aren't getting sick of glitter, because I have been in a little bit of a glitter rut for the last few days. Okay, so I'm going to pick it up, shake it off. Let's see, does this side need a little bit more glitter in the center? Okay, so here we go. Here is our snowflake. All right, let me put my glitter back in the container. I'm just going to fold my plate in half and tap it in there. Put my lid back on it. This is a really messy craft project, but it's going to be totally worth it. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to show you how to make the little chains, and then we'll put it all together, all right? And I'm sure you guys know how to make these little chains, but I'm just going to show you. Okay, so you're just going to take your strips. They can be however wide you want them, narrow or thick or whatever you would like. And I'm going to add a little hot glue. I want it about this big, and then I'm just going to snip off the end. There's our first one. Okay, so then we're going to thread the next one through this and do exactly the same thing, trying to keep our little loops, you know, about the same size, roughly. This is so easy. I do think on this tree thing that I have over here that if I had gone quite a bit smaller with this, it might look better. But my goal really is just to try some projects, to let you guys figure out how to do them. And then you guys can run with it and you can fix all the mistakes, all the things that I wished I would have done different. Too big, yes. Okay. Okay, and this chain can go as long as you want. So, then the next thing I did was I got my clear stuff in. Dang it! What is going on with my tripod? I'm so sorry, guys. Hey, did you see my t-shirt? This was the moose that we made last week. Isn't it cute? With this little hat. And then I put the little ornaments on the ends of my sleeves. I always like to have some little something there. Okay, let's go back to our 2 plates. And where's my brush? Okay. And I am just going to quickly brush a little bit of the Mod Podge on the edges. Oops, that's going to be a big glob. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. If you're patient, maybe it would be better to glitter the paper first and then make the loops. I don't know. Okay, and then we're just going to put our little chain over here. Can you guys see? And pour out our glitter again. I completely messed this area. Completely missed right here too. So I would do multiple of these. And like I said before, I might do them thinner, if that makes sense. Okay, then we're gonna take our, oh my gosh, I'm so sticky. Some more of this. And I'm just gonna tie it through one of the loops. And I'll show you the next part. Stay with me. So, as you're hopping on, tell me in the comments if you remember doing either these links with school construction paper, or if you remember making the snowflakes. All right, so this is our links. Cut this long string off right here. Okay, so let's put the glitter back and we'll move on to the next fun thing. So if you just are joining me late, what we're building on are just some sticks from my yard. They're nothing special. They were wet. So basically I put them in my oven at 200. Oh, and I wanted to show you this too. Well, we'll come back to that. I put them at 200 in my oven for about an hour. And if there were critters living in them, they're done. And if they're wet, now they're dry. So, okay. Oh my goodness, this is a mess. I have little snips of paper all over in my family room and kitchen right now. Okay. So, this is the start of the arrangement. Well, this is probably more the front. We're going to add some more of our sticks here. I know you're not going to be able to see very well for just a second, so just hang on. This was one that I did before. And this like white vase thing came from Pottery Barn a long time ago, but I'm sure they still have them. They still sell this kind of thing. And you guys, I want to tell you this. Last year, about the same time that I was making all of my, all of those pine cones, I did the same thing with a bunch of sticks and I put them in a white vase and set them out in my kitchen, and they're still there and they still look beautiful. It's just the charm, the rustic charm of it. Okay, so let's see. And you're gonna fiddle around to get them where you want them. This is not looking too pretty right now. When I have a chance to fluff it up, it'll be beautiful. Stay. Okay. Ooh, this snowflake is on thin grounds. Okay, so let me show you. It might be better to have less sticks in here and be able to purposely put them where you want them. A few years ago I made something like this, but with Easter eggs, and it was pretty cute. Okay, so let's tie this little guy on. Where are you? Do you guys like the idea of this? Let's see, what are you saying? You have to try that with some sticks. Yes, definitely. Donna, you're not watching this on replay because I'm live right now. Just FYI. Okay, so this is where we are right now. I'm going to continue to fiddle around with it and to see where I can get everything. And I had planned to put it somewhere on top of this placemat that we made with the silver ink on the burlap. And I had planned to, oh, and I want to tell you about these too. I had planned to do a pretty arrangement and then to do this as well. This I started to make last year, and these are just the rolled sheet music. And I decided that this year I wanted them to have the glitter at the top. So, and I glued a snowflake on that I made. So to do that, it's super easy. You're just going to pour a little bit of Mod Podge in a cup and pour a little bit of glitter in another cup. And I wanted it to be the top, so I'm looking at my music to see what is upright. So I'm going to dip my thing in the first one and then dip it in the, and there's one. I am going to let these dry before I put them back in. So let me set them over here to the side. And we'll just set this back to the side also for the time being so that I can show you my little display. And then I like to have things be in threes. Where are you? There we go. That's better. So I would probably look to find a little something silver that I could set right here in between these two bigger pieces. Where do I get the sheet music that colored? Oh, okay, this is what I'm using here, and I'll read some of your questions now and answer them. I'm just using this vintage sheet music that I got at my local Goodwill. And the pages are yellowed, just from time, I think. This would be super fun to do with your kids. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And even do the branches thing. And then they can, and glitter or no glitter, or they could color them. It's up to you what kind of a mess you're willing to have. I did want to mention that you can do the exact same thing with coffee filters, either the natural color or white. And these are a couple that I made, and I just sprayed some adhesive and put some glitter on them, but this is what they look like. This is the natural color, and this one is the white. They're much easier to cut through. Anyways, let's see, what questions do we have? You can't seem to find any music books. Hey, Jill, why don't you contact your high school in the area and ask if they have any outdated band music? Or if your kids took piano, or you have friends and their kids took piano and they're not playing the piano anymore, they probably have some sheet music in the bench of their piano that they'd be willing to give them. You can also print sheet music from the internet onto just white, computer paper. And then the other thing is you can buy some for sure on either Amazon or Etsy. So have you checked used bookstores? I have not, because I have an abundance of it. And I tell you what, every time I go to my Goodwill, which is pretty often, I mean, it's about a couple times a month, maybe right now, or maybe one time a month. I always look in the book section, and frequently I'll see a xylophone little booklet with music in it, or piano or violin, and all those work. You've been toying with the idea of making some snowballs using styrofoam and strips of paper or fabric. I've seen those. Those are cute. Oh, okay, Donna, I think that was Donna had a great idea to print your sheet music on vellum. That's that really thin, pretty sheer kind of paper. The only thing is, I don't know how expensive vellum is, but you can get that everywhere. Let's see, what other questions do you guys have? So, I hope you guys like this super messy, super easy, pretty darn almost completely free project. The only money I have into this really is the sheet music, but it was like $3 and I got 5 books of it. And then the glitter, and these little glitter things from Walmart are $2.68. And then a drip or two of Mod Podge. What else do we have into it? The sticks all came from my yard. I had these containers already. So this is a super inexpensive, it seems vintage to me. It just it takes me back to elementary school and Girl Scouts, and I think that's fun. You love them, just don't like the glitter mess, I know. That's right, Jill, it is a mess. Buy a box of resume paper in cream and it is beautiful. That's a great idea, Linda. Yeah, you can make these out of absolutely any kind of paper. Maybe you have some pretty scrapbook paper that's like, I don't know, snowflakes or something. Debbie says she loves it. Do you cut the coffee filter into squares? Okay, let's do one. Let's do a coffee filter real quick, and then I'll jump off. And if you need to go, don't feel like you have to stay on if you don't want to. Okay, so we'll just do a white. All you're gonna do is fold it in half, and then fold that in half, and then fold that in half, and then I did one more. Didn't do a good job here. And I'm just going to do a random thing. You're going to want to just play around with it. I made a bunch of them before I kind of figured out what I was doing. It's like riding a bicycle. You need to do it a few times before it comes back to you. So I didn't cut it square. That was what the question was. And there we go. There's my complete, ooh, that's kind of pretty. My completely random thoughts on that. Now, one thing I was thinking is, could I use some fabric starch and my iron to get these to be a little bit stiffer? I don't know. So they're pretty in the natural color, and these just came from Dollar Tree. I've had these in my crafting closet for a long time, thinking I was gonna do flowers with them or something, and I just, you know, there's too many crafts and too little time to be able to do every craft I want to do. Yeah, okay, so I think it was Maria or Mariana or Marianne, I can't see, that went by so quick, says that there are templates on Pinterest that you can get. Yeah, you can. But you can also just loosey-goosey it and end up with some pretty things. Spray starch should work. Ooh, I wonder if I have some. I don't iron very often, unless it's to heat set something, like my little moose t-shirt. Well, I hope you guys liked this project. If you are snowed in with the kids or grandkids, and you have some coffee filters or any kind of paper or sheet music, and they're old enough to handle scissors safely, get the round nose ones, then you should make some paper snowflakes. And these are pretty cute too. Let's see if I can get it out. Oh shoot. These guys are pretty cute too. And you can make these chains as long or as short as you want. And I just think it will be fun to do with your kids. My shirt is cute, thank you. This is a stencil from Magnolia, and it's called Merry Chris Moose is the name of it. If you want a link to this or any of the other stuff that I have on my website, on my Magnolia website, just let me know and I'd be glad to send that to you. Alrighty, you guys, thanks for joining me. If you decide to do this project, I definitely want to see pictures, so share them over at our free crafting group, which is called Dreaming DIY. And if you decide to change this up a lot, I would really love to see it. So, all right. I have lots of good stuff coming up. We're gonna put the glitter down for a little while, and I'm gonna try to get all the glitter sparkles out of everything in my house. But we'll go back to Christmas, and then we'll do a variety of other projects, and also some more after Christmas decorating. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.